Hi, Gaye DeRusso and the Majestic Riders. Oh, okay, so when you're looking at horses, what some people don't realize in the beginning is there's a lot to look at. And when you're buying horses from auctions and the internet, you got to be really careful, especially if you're not going there to see the horse. So one, you want to check if you can get a real vet check on that horse. A lot of times at the auctions, there's a vet check that's done ahead of time. And you need someone who has seen vet checks before to look at that paperwork so you can see how well that vet check was done. Because once you buy those horses, you can usually not bring them back. So you have to be sure that its eyes are okay, it doesn't have any breathing problems, there's nothing major on its legs. And there's different kinds of vet checks. There's like a health check to make sure the horse is alive. And then there's real vet checks that check for lameness, blindness, and other medical problems. So that's one of the things you want to look in. A lot of people get caught up in the videos and the appearance of the horse, and you're get caught up kind of in like a dream. And then you see the auction and you see the price going up and you see how pretty that horse is and you really want it, and then all of a sudden you just push the button and you won the horse. The problem is with that is you got to make sure that if you have never had a gaited horse or a horse before, that you have someone who can help you, someone who's a good trainer, and someone that can fix major problems. Because some of those horses have not been exposed to things that you're going to expose it to. So here in California, we have lots of bikes and hikers and people on our trails, where in Tennessee and Kentucky, they don't have as many of those things. We also have gates and cows, and sometimes they're just out there riding in the woods. So the first time that horse sees a cow, or like by my place we have water buffalo, sometimes those horses get really scared. Even if they see a dog out on the trail and they're fine with dogs just because they haven't seen dogs before on the trail. So you got to make sure you have someone to help you with that horse. If you're calling, you want to ask specific things, because a lot of people just want to sell the horses and they don't care about matchmaking and they don't care about your level of riding. And some people think they're an intermediate, but in Tennessee they'd be considered a beginner, because a lot of the people there ride a lot faster and they've grown up with horses, so they're not nervous. Where here we have a lot of older people that are getting into riding, so they're going to want to go slower and they're going to be nervous. So you have to be aware of your abilities, who you have to help you, and then also speak a lot to that seller to make sure it's something you can handle. Horses that are from age 3 to 12 are younger horses. Even a 10-year-old horse is a younger horse and can do some things. An older rider and you're nervous, older horses are usually better, or a very calm horse. If you do not like to go fast, it's better that you get a horse that you have to push to make it go. But you're going to have to ask the seller, do I have to put much leg on this horse? How much do I have to squeeze him to make him go faster? Will he get upset when other horses leave? Will he walk as slow as a quarter horse? Because if you do not ask these questions, most of the time they are not going to tell you the answers to them. You want to ask what that horse does when it spooks. And I always love the question when even I ask, like I'm helping other people, and I say, what does the horse do when it spooks? And they go, oh, well, it never spooks. Well, what that means to me is they haven't exposed it to enough things. All horses spook at some time or another, even if it just spooks in place or it just flinches. That's still considered a spook, and so that's something you need to know, because people get these horses and then they see another horse coming down the trail, which they haven't seen before, and they spin and run away. And the seller said, oh, the horse doesn't spook at all. Well, apparently they never saw another horse coming down the trail. You got to be really careful with these things. Ask if the horse is pushy on the ground. Is he more dominant or is he submissive? Because if you're submissive, or someone who's going to give that horse rules, you need a more submissive horse. If you get a dominant horse or a pushy horse, he's going to take over pretty quick. You want to ask how his ground manners are. Will he stay out of your space? Will he come to you when you go to catch him? Is he a friendly horse, or is he a more aloof horse? Because that will make a difference also if you like the horse when he shows up. The gaits are very different, so you're going to have to watch the rider and see how much they're bouncing and moving and see how fast that rider is going. If you want to walk and the video just shows the horse running the entire time, well, you need to see a video of that horse walking. If you're going to ride with a lot of bikes and you don't have a trainer or someone who's going to take that horse out first, then you need to see a video with bikes going around that horse pretty fast so you can see what it does. And so a lot of it, a lot of people are just trying to sell horses and they're trying to make money. You have every right to do that. And that's why they always say buyer beware, because you really need to look specifically at what you need and what that seller is showing you. So again, if you're looking for a trail horse and they just show the horse in the arena, you need to see what it does on the trail. If you're looking for an arena horse and all they show is trail work, well, you need to see how it is in the arena. Because you think, well, arena's easy, it'll be fine, but it's not. You get some of these horses and you ride at a place where you either have jumping horses or barrel horses or reining horses, and that horse is not used to it at all, and it freaks them out, and then you get scared or you fall off. So you got to be really careful, know your ability, know what you're getting, ask a lot of questions. If they won't answer those questions or help you, move on. It doesn't matter if it's the prettiest horse out there. If you get it, even if it's the prettiest horse and you're afraid of it, you're not going to ride it. It's just going to sit in a pasture somewhere, or you're going to spend money, with a trainer and not be able to ride that horse. You'll see me turn lots of horses around, but not all trainers can do that. Not all the trainers have experience with the gaited horses, so they don't know what speed to ride them. They don't know how to work around them. And a lot of these gaited horses have been mishandled. So many can be fearful when they show up and they're scared. And if you move your hand a certain way, they think they're going to get clocked in the head because at some point somebody did that to them. So are you able to deal with that? Is your trainer able to deal with that? Because some are not, and some are not used to that. I see these horses all the time, and they, when people have problems with them, they're usually too fast. Their gaits, they're not gaiting well because they were ridden too fast. They don't respond to bit pressure because the people have just been pulling on them the whole time, so they don't understand to slow down from the bit pressure. They don't understand to walk. Most of them don't have any groundwork on them. They don't understand how to go up to a mounting block, and on the list goes. So when you're looking at things, be very careful, and be very careful with the auctions, because it's just like going to Vegas. You put the money in the slot machine and you pull the handle and you're so close to getting it, and then you just keep putting that money in and all of a sudden you're out of money. Casinos wouldn't be functioning if they didn't make money off of you, if they gave money away all the time. So with the auctions, they draw you in. They started with a low price. The horse is only $2,000. And then you keep bidding on it, and all of a sudden it's up to $20,000. And that $20,000 gaited horse doesn't have any groundwork. His gaits aren't good. He just looks pretty. And so you overspent so much money where you could have bought a horse that was cheaper, put it in with training, ended up with a nice horse. But now if you get that $20,000 horse and that's all the money you had, you can't really put the money in for training, right? So just be very careful and be aware. Anybody who's by me who buys a horse off the internet and you need help, I'm happy to help you. I've taken lots of people through it. So a lot of these horses you can fix, but you have to put time and money into them, and then you have to learn to ride them correctly. So kind of like matchmaking, and you really got to be careful about matching the right horse with the right rider and then giving the right instructions. When I sell horses, I give people directions. I give them a whole list of things of what the horses know, how to ride them, what they do, and then I try to stay in contact with them so if they have problems. But you'll notice a lot of sellers, even when I contact them for people, they never say, hey, if you have any problems, call me up. If there's an issue, we'll take the horse back. They don't make offers like that, and they usually won't tell you anything specific unless you ask them for it. So unless you say, like, is the horse afraid of ropes over his head? They won't tell you that. They won't tell you that. You'll just get the horse and one day you'll throw a rope over its head and it freaks out and you go, it's afraid of ropes. So you have to ask all those questions. You have to ask, has it any illnesses? Has it colic? Does it have 4 hooves? They come with big cracks in their feet. They come with club foot. They come with major blemishes, major scars. So you need to see everything before you get that horse. Lots of pictures, lots of videos. So you really need to be aware of everything. And if you're not going to go there, you need a vet to go check it and you need to talk to that vet. Was that horse calm? Was he jumpy when you saw him? I am a beginner. Do you think he would be okay for me? I don't know what I'm doing. I do not have a trainer to help me. You need to tell them those things so they're aware of it, because a lot of times the vet can go, no, this horse was really moving out when I saw it, and he wouldn't stand still, and he was a little hard to handle. So for a beginner, that's not a good horse. And then it's worth the money, whatever, to pay that vet or pay someone else to go see that horse for you if you're not going to go check it out yourself. So again, I'm not saying don't buy the horses off the internet, because I know a lot of you do. You just got to be careful with it. And then if you need help, you know, try and get the right help, or you can contact me. Again, I can help you with videos. I can help your trainer if they need help. But the worst part of it is these horses get shipped all around. Now the sun's coming that way. They show up somewhere, they're scared, they don't know what's going on. You end up with them, and you know, you don't do the right thing, so the horse gets worse. He doesn't get better, and he gets spookier and jumpier. And I just feel horrible for these horses. They left all their friends, they got in a trailer, they showed up somewhere. Now they're expected to do some job that they weren't trained for, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you know, everybody thinks, well, the horse is not working for me, so I'll just sell it. That's the hardest thing, is these horses get passed around, and that's why they get passed around, is because nobody's taking the time and training them right. And not everybody can do it correctly, and not every person gets along with a horse. So a lot of times you might have to sell it, but you want to think of those things before you get them. Like, if he comes and he doesn't work out for me, am I going to sell him? Do I have a trainer to help me? Do I have any friends who really know gaited horses? You know, ones that don't gait well. Because anybody can ride a horse that gaits well. You just get on and you just go, and the horse just gaits. But if it comes and it paces or trots, will anybody know how to help you fix that? And are you willing to put the time in? Or are you really busy and you don't have time for this? Because remember, take those things into consideration. Because it's not just all about how pretty that horse is, but it's about that it's a living creature. And so once he shows up, we have to make an effort to help him. And you got to be willing to do that before you buy any horse, actually. Okay, hope that helps. Hope it doesn't depress you, but sometimes you need to hear the truth.